The church wasn't on any map, but I swear I went inside it. And someone was waiting for me. I've been driving for over 15 years. I'm not one of those thrill seekers who chase danger or excitement. I drive for work. It's the only thing I know how to do. All my colleagues will tell you the same. In this line of work, you get used to seeing strange things on the road. But nothing ever came close to what happened a few years ago between Hermosillo and Chihuahua. It was supposed to be a simple run, except this time I wasn't carrying normal cargo. They asked me to transport 2 competition horses. Fine animals. They said it was urgent, that the owners didn't trust just anyone. I wasn't used to this kind of job, but work is work. And the pay was better than usual. Everything was going perfectly until the truck broke down in the middle of the night. A knocking sound came from somewhere between the engine and the front right tire. The whole cabin shook violently. I could barely keep the steering wheel straight. I was stranded alone in the middle of the desert. There was nothing around, just dirt, rocks, and a sky so black it looked hollow. The silence was deafening, except for the wind and the horses. They were restless, too restless. They snorted, kicked, and shifted nervously, as if they were sensing something I couldn't. I tried to calm them, but they were having none of it. I grabbed my flashlight and checked the engine, but I couldn't find anything clearly wrong. I called for assistance over the radio. Dispatch said someone was on the way, but it would take at least an hour. And then I heard it, a howl, long, guttural. Not like a coyote, it was deeper. And it was getting closer. Not one, several. I don't know what kind of animals they were, but the sound paralyzed me. My skin crawled. My instinct screamed at me to run. That's when I saw lights, faint ones, in the distance, a town, or at least what looked like one. Maybe a dozen houses, the kind that pop up near old highways and disappear just as fast. The truck barely moved, but I forced it forward. I didn't care if it broke down completely. I just couldn't stay there. When I arrived, the place was dead. Houses crumbled into themselves, windows shattered. But in the center stood a small church. Not a Catholic one, at least not like any I'd seen. It had a crooked star instead of a cross. Strange symbols carved into the walls, and inside, there was light. A warm glow flickered through a cracked window, and a spotlight weakly lit the door. I don't know what came over me, but I walked straight in. I didn't knock. I didn't even think. A thin, pale man was sitting on a bench near the altar, whispering from an old book. I assumed it was a Bible, but I wasn't sure. Something about the pages looked wrong. I told him I needed help, that I was stranded with 2 horses and didn't feel safe out there. He didn't look up, didn't acknowledge me, just kept reading. I backed out slowly and returned to the truck. Tried starting it again, but the sound was worse than ever. Eventually, my colleagues arrived with tools and parts, but when they inspected the truck, there was nothing wrong, not a single thing. The engine ran like new. The sky was starting to brighten, but my mind felt darker than ever. I couldn't shake the image of that church, or the man inside. Before we left, I said to the others, "Come with me. I want you to see that place." But when we got there, my jaw dropped. The church was chained shut with rusted metal links. The windows were broken. It looked abandoned, not for days, but for decades. "You went in there?" One of my guys asked, half joking. I didn't answer. I just nodded, confused, ashamed. The horses were calm now, as if whatever had disturbed them had left. That was the last time I took a job like that. And if I ever do again, I'll make sure I don't take that road. Because that town, that church, it doesn't exist on any map. And I don't think it ever did. Some places aren't forgotten. They're hidden. For a reason. What do you think was inside that church? Have you ever seen a place that disappeared after you visited it? Let me know in the comments, if you dare. My name is Rafael Comunidad. I'm 52 years old, and I've been driving trucks since I was 19. That's over 3 decades on the road. I once called into a radio show to share this story, but the host just laughed. played along like it was a joke. I could tell he wasn't really listening, but lately I've been thinking about it again. Not because something terrible happened, but because it was one of those moments that makes your skin crawl, the kind of thing you don't talk about unless you're sure the other person has seen something similar. 12 years ago, I was hauling a light load through Veracruz. There had been landslides on the main road, so many of us had to take alternate routes. One of those routes cut through a winding, half-forgotten mountain pass, rarely used anymore, but still drivable. It was around 3 a.m., the rain had been falling all night, and I was taking the turns carefully when I saw him. A boy standing by the side of the road, soaking wet, clothes loose and half-torn, his hands covering his eyes, not shaking, not crying, just standing there, head tilted, frozen. My stomach dropped. Not because of how creepy it looked, though it was, but because I had seen him before. Back in 96 or 97, I was just starting out. My older brother and I were driving this same road during another detour caused by a landslide. Same rain, same darkness, same curve in the road. We saw that same boy. My brother slowed the truck down but didn't stop. I asked him why, and I'll never forget what he said. "I'm not stopping. That kid isn't waiting for help." I didn't get it back then. I just knew it felt wrong to leave a child alone in the rain like that, but we drove on. And we never forgot it. Now, years later, I was back and so was he. Same road, same boy, same pose, as if he had never left. I didn't stop. I wanted to look in the rearview mirror to check if he turned his head or if he was following me with those unseen eyes, but something in me refused. Every instinct told me not to. Nothing else happened. No banging on the cabin. No doors opening by themselves. Just that moment. When I finally made it to my destination, I sat down, shaking, and called my brother. I said, "Guess where they rooted me tonight?" He didn't even let me finish. "You saw the child again." I froze. He went on, "I've seen him a couple more times since then. Same spot, same time. He's always there." He didn't ask which road I meant or what time it was, or what the boy looked like. He already knew, and the way he said it, like it was normal, sent a chill through my bones. I swear I could feel my blood run cold. Have you ever passed something on the road that didn't feel human? Would you stop or keep driving? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more real horror stories from the road.